Tony, do you just kind of have to pinch yourself sometimes and remind yourself that Chase Burns is a freshman?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of to the point in it because it started in the fall. The narrative that is that it's old news that he's a mature kid and a really good competitor. Obviously, he's got good stuff too. Does he have the world completely figured out? No, but I think we're past that deal of being concerned whether he's going to prepare the right way or be mature in certain situations. It's just a matter of him going out and competing. And anytime you do that, you'd like to be better than the other guy, but it's not always going to be that way. But he's going to pitch for a long, long time, and I think as the years go by, he's going to win a lot of battles.
Just what was he doing so well on the mound today?
Last week the fastball command wasn't as good as today, so I think he was doing that. Just the tempo and rhythm was there for him, and then complimenting. And the thing that he probably did best today, to answer your question, is he shook to some pitches and executed really well after that. And most pitching coaches that are calling the game, they want to control the game, but they don't necessarily want a robot out there. And I think Chase is kind of learning to think his way through some things, and certainly never want a guy overthinking it, but the fact he did that was encouraging.
You've continued to say nothing that he's done is surprising, but against that lineup, anything surprising to them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say the fact he kept guys off balance as well as he did, they usually have a really good plan. Obviously, there's some talent there, and there's also thunder in the bats. I mean, poor Jared Dickey almost had a hole put in his glove. And then, the big guy, Elko, I mean, you can only keep him down for so long. So there's plenty of thunder in the lineup up and down, but the fact he kept them off balance prevented them from lacing any more balls than what I mentioned, or maybe even just a couple others in addition to that.
The thunder in your lineup, just that second inning, how much do you think that helped Chase?
It did. I mean, I think he caught himself in the dugout making sure he wasn't too fired up. Where's the balance of being a pitcher who's on the sideline watching his offense? You can't be just too stoic, especially if you're a kid. You want to get excited. But I think more than anything, he kind of caught himself and calmed himself down and realized he needs to keep doing the same thing he always does, but now he's got more room for errors. So always going to be comforting to a pitcher to have a lead.
What did you see in that second inning that allowed you all to kind of break it open, and then just the offense all night long, just keeping the foot on the pedal?
Yeah, I mean, the first inning was really, really bad if you're looking at the stat sheet, but the at-bats were pretty good. I mean, Jarrell's a ball away from, being calm with 2 strikes, having a walk, and Jared Dickey's at-bat, of course, ends in a strikeout, but it was super competitive. I think that allowed us to see what we're looking at. The guys are communicating and came up with a good plan. The thing I saw was some really good takes out of guys on borderline pitches, whereas if you can get going too fast on a guy that's got good ride on his fastball and a changeup's his best secondary pitch where he can pull the string on you, that'll go a long way for you. So we talk about playing the long game a lot of different ways. I think that tempo that guys had in the box was the secret to success in that inning.
Jared was 0 for 9 in his last 5 games. Just what gave you confidence to continue to roll with him, and then what did you see tonight from him to get off that streak?
Yeah. His mentality would be what gave the team confidence. Of course, he's an adequate base runner, or better than that, I should say, base runner. Does a good job with the glove, even though we had a miscue late in the game on that ball on the ground. But the mentality is there. It's what we want. Each guy is very unique. We got some characters, some guys that need to, I got to kind of try and control them a little bit. Never have to worry about that with him, but he's ultra competitive and embodies a lot of things we're looking for. And then on the physical side, just shorter swings. I mean, and it doesn't take a hitting genius. If you compare notes from other games, just shorter swings. And he's a strong enough kid that obviously it'll go when he takes that good swing of his.
And then against this lineup, just how big is it that you didn't have to use Camden tonight? Kirby didn't pitch a ton, Mark didn't pitch a ton, and your bullpen's set for the next 2 days.
Yeah, it makes you feel better going into the day. It's like BP and a pitcher's bullpen, though. I haven't coached that long, but long enough that sometimes you think you can predict what's going to happen because you've got a better this or that, or, BP didn't go well or it did go well. So when we sit down in the hotel and meet as a coaching staff, or I write down some notes, it's certainly comforting to know you can kind of go with your plan A without a lot of scars on it. But the bottom line is tomorrow is a new challenge. The game will start fresh, and hopefully whatever guys we do decide to use can help put us on top.
How much do you expect Ole Miss to show up to the stadium tomorrow pissed off after tonight?
I think kind of like they always do. I mean, I don't know their team's personality as well as some of the others. By the time you get to Sunday, you kind of have a feel for a team. And then in this league, a lot of times you'll run into each other in Hoover, or you'll at least be able to lay eyes on that team. So their coaching staff knows their personality more. But the bottom line is they are wearing that uniform they wear. And again, usually very well prepared, usually a great game plan, and the talent is there. So I don't think today they showed up not wanting to win, and I definitely don't think that'll be the case tomorrow. We won't have the good fortune of seeing Coach Kiffin again tomorrow, but they'll be just as determined, and hopefully our guys are too. I mean, our guys, I think, are still trying to prove to their coaching staff that they really like to be challenged, and tomorrow will certainly be a challenge.
Your thoughts on Lane throwing out the first pitch, or throwing out the golf ball, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and there was a mustard bottle there in the outfield, and then one of our guys had one in the dugout. I don't know how that got in there, but that's a scary deal. I get where, if we were to backtrack, I totally get where the frustration was coming in the stands, but that's a pretty dangerous thing to have an object like that thrown in your direction. But I think it's awesome for someone to be able to laugh at stuff like that. Now that time has passed and everybody's okay, there's not enough of that in society where we can afford to make a comment to make everybody smile or to laugh a little bit, because, again, I think in today's day and age, we don't have as many laughs or humorous moments like that. So he's a wizard at getting quality attention put into his program, and he did that today. I liked it.
Perfect. Thanks, Tony.